I will be very brief on the basis of the fact I don't have an awful lot of time, so I'm not going to welcome everybody, but thanks, great to be here. I'm a genuine academic, you can tell, because I turned up with pens. I was actually teaching this morning and I came in to do this, so I'm the real deal, you know, as it were. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very rapidly sort of step through some of the thoughts that I'd put down as far as this is concerned. Why New Zealand? And really what the industry is looking for out there, because there's two sides of this. We can bang on about what a great place New Zealand is, blah. Students rock up, and that's great. Reality check is how do the people who are coming to New Zealand from whatever background, whether it be India or whatever, come to New Zealand, what's their expectation, and actually how does it match with industry expectation moving forward? Because the two have to match, do they not? So, just firstly, a quick short story about me, my favourite subject. I'm an immigrant to New Zealand. I arrived back in September 23rd, 2006. The first radio interview I ever had was 2 weeks after arriving. The first TV interview was part of the Mark Sainsbury show. Any Kiwis here will know Mark Sainsbury. We're talking about the stadium on the waterfront back in 2006. And basically I was introduced, hello, why is this not moving? I was introduced as one of 30 leading Aucklanders within 3 weeks of arrival. Now, what this tells you actually is a huge amount of opportunity in New Zealand. The reason why we have a huge amount of opportunity is we all wear so many hats, it's not even funny. I'm educating. In half an hour, I've got to be back on stage talking to a whole bunch of actually Indian students and others, okay? We wear multiple hats, and we have a very, very thin hierarchy, which means that you can get ahead very, very quickly if you've got the skill sets associated with that. That's Mark Sainsbury. No truth in the fact that he only interviews bald guys with moustaches. But he was talking about the stadium complex. We're still talking about the stadium complex. Another problem with New Zealand, it's like Groundhog Day. We talk about the same crap again and again and again without necessarily getting further ahead. That's just a in-house little issue for us. Why New Zealand? Basically, as I said before, it's opportunity. You've got students coming here and with the right skill set, the right mindset, have the opportunity to become a big fish in a small pond real fast. I've got some superb students who've come from India. Literally, they've turned up, made things happen from the get-go, and got some outstanding jobs in council, in local construction companies, big construction companies, running major projects. If you've seen the Cloud down on the waterfront, the sort of wavy building on the waterfront, yeah, that was built by one of my students who was an Indian from Kerala, okay? Just a matter of interest, Chetan his name was, and is. Hell of a good guy, but there's an opportunity to make a difference. I keep saying to students all the time, you want to make a noise or do you want to make a difference? This is a country where you can make a difference very, very quickly and easily if you've got the right mindset. We have the perception of Western education light, not diet in the sense of thin on the ground, but it's not like the UK, not like the US, not like Canada or Australia. It's a safe environment, it's a multicultural environment. We talked about before about the number of Indians in Auckland. Just an interesting factoid. The fourth most common language in Auckland is Hindi. There you go. Didn't know that, did you? I know you do. And our qualifications are recognised nationally and internationally. So we have the IPENS accreditation, IIT, and all that sort of good stuff. Opportunities post-graduation are huge, and obviously we're growing very rapidly from an economic perspective. We have this fabled rock star economy, which is great. And there is a demand for the capability. We're just not producing as many people as we need. So there's a huge opportunity for your countrymen when they come here. The problem that we have is what's been said before, and I'll reiterate what's been said. The emphasis on rote learning is something which is really challenging for us as society to deal with, and also our employers. Obviously, industry has been optimized in India to accept students of this type. In New Zealand, we don't. We have small companies, and they don't have the graduate programs in. So the people who we need to have coming here have to have an attitude which is expeditionary, best foot forward all the time, and actually trying to push themselves ahead. It means that you've got to step out your comfort zone. The over-reliance of rote education tends to stop that, because what happens is that you're always waiting for being told what to do next. And again, Kiwi culture doesn't kind of do that. We expect you to step up, and that's the way to go. There tends to be an overemphasis on theory rather than practice, which again has been highlighted by previous speakers, which is great. And that less emphasis on practical skills really impacts upon us, because particularly with engineers, we're looking for engineers, yes, who understand the theory, but can get stuck in and actually make things happen too. There's a hell of a lot of flawed thinking in the minds of students. Having a badge, automatically you get the job, right? Well, by badge, I mean the degree, whatever it may be. A better ranked university equals a better badge. It's just not the case in this country. We've all got, all universities are of a good standard. So better badge, better job, and higher qualification beats a lower qualification. Oh, we've got to have a master's rather than a postgraduate diploma, whatever it may be. Again, these are sorts of ideas and concepts that need to be educated out and I would say counselled out of students who are intending to come to New Zealand to study. Because actually, if you come with the right attitude, it doesn't matter if you've got a postgrad diploma or a master's or a PhD. Actually, the last thing, if you want a decent job in New Zealand, getting a PhD just means piled higher and deeper in our country. It's just not necessarily a great option, and yet it's perceived to be the ultimate badge. But its relationship to industry is, shall we say, tenuous. So everything is an exercise in getting the bigger and better badge. And ladies and gents, I'm here to tell you to say that industry is not interested in that. They're interested in people with practical skills. So, what does this imply? Small companies are the majority of what we have here in New Zealand. We have tiny companies, so students need to understand our economy first, and they need to have a clear understanding of their objectives. So if you're dealing with students who want to come, please counsel them to do their research. Badges from study or badges from universities are less important than the practical skills that they're going to bring to the economy. Also, specialisation is not essential in this country. To give you an idea, we've got 20 heart surgeons in New Zealand. Only 20. We've got less automotive engineers than heart surgeons. We've got no car manufacturing, and yet we still get lots of automotive engineers who want to come and study in New Zealand. Question why? And that's what we have as an issue. The key thing, again, I would always push as far as this is concerned for any potential students, is work experience trumps everything. As was alluded to before, when I do, I understand. This is absolutely where New Zealand education is at, and this is where we focus, as AUT, this is where we focus our efforts on trying to give people the closest approximation to real life experience that they possibly can. If you've got students who are wishing to come, or you're counselling people who wish to come, tell them to wait. Tell them to get a year's worth of experience and then come. And that will make all the difference in the world. So implications, just to wrap this up. Counselling, lots of it. We need to think in terms of moderating demand as far as what our students coming from India to New Zealand are expecting. Get students to do the research in the beginning, make sure they understand what they're getting into, and make sure they understand the market as well as they possibly can. What is my target industry? That's a key question. If you want to be in car manufacturing, don't come to New Zealand. If you want to be an aircraft manufacturer, don't be coming to New Zealand. I've had more aerospace engineers come to me than I care to think about, and I just smile and sure, whatever. Spoon feeding is not an option for what we do. Do promote work experience prior to turning up, because that is the ultimate indicator of likely success, and promote proactive behaviour. Really and truly, the individuals who do well are what I call the type A personalities. They're the one who makes things happen. They're happy to pick up the phone. They're happy to make the call. They're happy to push themselves forward. There's an awful lot of folks who come and they really don't have a close understanding of what the industry really needs in this country. So, summary, does the system work? Yep, absolutely, we do. At AUT in particular, we have a strong ethos of value added, making sure the education works and emphasising employability and employment skills. Very high employment rates. I mean, phenomenally high employment rates in some of our programs. Master of Construction Management, Master of Engineering Project Management in particular are winners. They have 80 to 90% employment rates for international students, which is absolutely stellar. And as I say, I keep pushing this issue, strong correlation between experience and employment. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is high speed, low drag, and I've got 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Thank you.